Hey everybody, it's Amber if you're new here, and if not, welcome back. Today I have a very special video for you guys. I wanted to give you something unique that I haven't definitely seen before. I'm assuming all of you have. You guys are diehard fans, but this is actually a video called The Birth of Ren, or The Birth of Hi Ren rather. So I'm pretty excited to watch this. I read a little bit of the description, but I didn't want to get too much spoiled for me, so I just want to jump right in.
But if you got a problem, my brother, I might just put on some rubber gloves and just choke it till larynx ruptures and blood just bubbles up in the bubbles.
Okay, so behind the scenes shooting the Hunger music video.
Brother, I might just put on some rubber gloves and just choke it till larynx ruptures and blood just bubbles up in the bubbles. Double up and you struggle, but luck is up cause I'm subtle at covering up the trouble. Cover up the crime scene, 1990, that's my scene. My teen years were spent rolling the tide with obscene fiend in a pair of baggy jeans, putting backy with the green roller, fatty dopamine starts flowing. Like a rebellion going, the pendulum is slowing. I'm swinging and I'm swaying, but I don't know where I'm going. Mind running. Jesse Owens, hallelujah, Leonard Cohen, all these seeds that I've been sowing, slowly growing like trees. I grow, then I preach, scrap that I teach over beats, to all those that seek, teach on these streets. Streets can be bleak, but bleak was the place where I rose to my feet. Thank you very much, guys, The Hunger.
So I love when they do this kind of thing. So if you've never seen like the behind the scenes of how a music video is shot, it's a lot of different ways you can do it, but the most common way is to shoot. If it's not a scripted storyline, then you'll perform the song in multiple locations, multiple outfits, and just kind of line them all up at one starting sync point and then splice them all together how you see fit. Sometimes they'll only shoot like, you know, a scene for this verse, a scene for this verse with intent behind that. But like, what the reason I bring it up is because obviously right there when he goes,
"It can be bleak, but bleak was the place where I rose to my feet."
We know in the music video he goes, "And I rose to my feet," and then kicks his hood up and then goes, but that's clearly what's not happening in this part. So that was clearly a cut scene that could have made it in the original video, but they went with the hood up scene at the end instead. However, considering it was all, if not mostly, a one-shot video, that means that they would have cut the entire clip we just saw. But
streets can be bleak, but bleak was the place where I rose to my feet. Thank you very much, guys. The Hunger is out now on all streaming platforms. You can get that on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. The YouTube video will be live in about 10-15 minutes on YouTube, so join me on the chat on YouTube, guys.
Oh, that's cool. So he actually, it's not even, in this particular scenario, he actually went back out in the same outfit and just shot the ending bit right there to tease it for you. So this is long after it was filmed. Idea still stands, but
it's out now on all streaming platforms, about 10-15 minutes on YouTube, so join me on the chat on YouTube, guys. That'll be fucking wicked. I appreciate you massively. Thank you very much. Mwah. God bless. What do you like? The steering's a little bit wonky on this thing. We're wonking. We're wonking out.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. So when it's the first.
So he brought that around with him. Also, this is the set of Hy Ren. And if you look, where was this filmed? I hope they're going to answer it in a minute, because I can't tell. It doesn't look like it's a set. It looks like what they did is they clamped on the spotlight to that pipe right there.
First one's
yeah, it's pretty.
lovely shirts.
Nice, like good, real nice, extra sexy.
Ren, it hurts so much to see you in a Chiefs jacket. It's burning on the inside.
Down, you know that, deep down, you know, always in the periphery. Man, aren't you pleased to see me? It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill.
I like that the, what's his name?
I've been taking some time to be.
That guy that's always wearing the pig mask all the time. It's kicked back up right there. I'm like taking in the environment around as well.
Taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed to be much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill. Man, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you. Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always realize you. Okay, take another pill, boy, drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this step program.
Man, he, even in rehearsal, he just, the way he plays back and forth between the, not the personalities, but the different emotions and like the voice of reason within him, as well as the voice of doubt.
Fucking dumb boy, now mate. This time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kind of doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Because when you're with me, it never seems to help. You think that you can amputate me, I am you, you are me, you are I.
I think it's side to side, but I don't think you necessarily need to go full side. I think you can go somewhere like here.
Yeah. So as long as I like.
Can you just look there, mate?
You think that you can amputate me, I am you, you are me, you are I
That's
am
nice.
you.
And then this side.
You got leftover dinner and no scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 here? What's up?
Yeah, that's good.
Where's your top 10 here? Where's your
What's up? Yeah.
is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 here? What's up?
Yeah, that's good.
Where's your top 10 here? Where's your interview with Unpro? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere, yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. Never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, because this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in. Man, you sound so pretentious, Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself, trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations.
I'm sorry. It's just, it's like, at this point, it's almost like I'm reacting to all of Hy Ren at this point, but oh, I love everything about this. I love seeing the director, the cameraman. I like seeing everybody just bring it all together, make changes up to the last minute. Hey, I know this worked on paper, but it's not necessarily going to work in the full run. Is this okay? I wasn't sure if we were going to do that the whole time, but man. I don't know, after watching it, I don't think I could play this. It kills me because I would love to learn to play this. Man.
Once flinch or shake. So coward the man I become when I sing from the top of my lungs. That I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspire me to be strong. And when I am gone, I will write in the music that I left behind. Eternal assistant, eternal like you will record me to different sides.
Fucking hell, bro. Yeah.
Filming Hy Ren was definitely very interesting. I mean, off the bat, the preparation work for that song was probably more than any song we'd done, bar maybe Money Game. Because first of all, you had that intro guitar part, and I was determined not to mess up a single note. So I had to know that on the day, I could play it 100 times in a row without butchering a note. So I would sit down. Sometimes I chucked on a TV series and I'd just sit down playing it again and again and again until I got that right. And then I would sit on the hallway in my step.
Can I just say, and hopefully this doesn't come off in the worst way, but he looks so healthy in this shot. Like, his skin his pupils, everything just, I don't know. You guys know better than I do about when he was in like really strong recovery and when he was, you know, better versus kind of where he's at now. I don't know the full timeline down to like the month and year on it necessarily, but just looking at this shot post Hy Ren, he looks so healthy in a way that like makes me smile. It makes me happy to see him. You know what I mean? Even if it's an up and down and a battle every now and then he has good days, bad days. Being able to see, you can tell looking at somebody, even down to their complexion, a decent sign on the surface of how they're doing. And I'm very happy for him to be able to be at that place.
On the day, I could play it 100 times in a row without butchering a note. So I would sit down. Sometimes I chucked on a TV series and I'd just sit down playing it again and again and again until I got that right. And then I would sit on the hallway in my stairs because it's got to my old house because it had some nice natural reverb. And I'd just sit down, practicing the back and forth, practicing every face movement, every expression, because I knew that I was going to be sat down pretty much most of the time. So I had to make it engaging. So there was a lot of thought, even though it's a very simple video, there's a lot of intention and thought behind each movement and facial expression. And
yeah,
so
they're really just, and to be able to do it on the fly, like as corny as this is going to sound, I think the first time as a child that I was able to do something like that was My Band by D12. But when you think about it, it's 5 different people going back and forth, different voices, different inflections, 2 of them, Swifty and Kaniva going back and forth at the same time in the same verse. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then as I started to get older and I got into, I don't want to say more mature music and like off-put anything D12 did, but when I got into things more akin to Hy Ren, you know what I mean? Something that tackles like a real sort of hard to discuss topic, if you will. Seeing what people are able to do with that, especially if they're able to do it without post editing, because you can go to like, you know, certain songs where, yeah, the artist played both characters very well. I won't knock them for that, but they also recorded them entirely separately and then spliced them back together. Not to say that's not impressive, but compare it to Ren sitting here for 14 minutes straight, playing both characters, every movement, every time knowing when to look, all while changing how he's playing the guitar, all while changing the voice at the right moment, also not missing a note, also not slipping up on a word. Like,
you know? Thought behind each movement and facial expression. And so I just spend days, I think it was about a month before the shoot, I was practicing every day because I wanted to get it perfect. And then it comes to the day we used the basement that we used for Sick Boy that we'd shot a couple of months before that. Same basement, we just dressed it up differently. And we had this.
I'm just realizing Hy Ren comes after Sick Boy. I don't know why. I know that Hy Ren wasn't the start of Ren's career. It was just such a breakout song for him. But like Hy Ren, you know what I think I'm confusing in my head? I think Hy Ren, I think it went Sick Boy, but then the Cujo situation began. And maybe we got Hy Ren, and then eventually when the Cujo situation resolved, we got Cujo Beat Down and then Return of Sick Boy. And maybe my brain's thinking about the Return of Sick Boy and going, wait, that comes after Hy Ren. When in reality, no, the return of it comes after Hy Ren. You know what I mean?
Old wheelchair that we found on the shoot of The Hunger that we took and just happened to look right for the setting. It was like the pink perfectly sort of like counterbalance the sort of like desaturated nature of the scene. And then we got down there, all of us excited. I was feeling good and confident, ready to perform. And then we start filming. We set up 3 cameras and we start filming, and that's when everything started going very wrong. So like, first of all, the sound messed up. So we lost the first few takes. because I played it back and it was all distorted because it was clipping on the microphone, on the little lapel mic.
That's what was happening to me the other night when I did the Genesis acoustic and I played the guitar for you guys for like 10 seconds, but my mic didn't pick up like most of it. So when it came through, it was very like, this note's too hard. That's too, it just,
So we're like, okay, crap. All right, let's just crack on. Then when we started cracking on, because we hadn't asked permission from the actual landlord of the place, just the guy who was renting a flat there, landlord runs down half an hour in after ages of setup, getting the perfect places for the camera and stuff. Landlord runs down and goes, "What are you doing? You're making too much noise." Because we had to start after dark because the natural light getting into the basement from like these small window cracks right at the end of the space. He runs in. "What are you guys doing? You've got to be out in 30... No, you've got to be out now." So I sort of plead with him. It's obvious that we're doing something. I plead with him and say, "Look, please, we just need a little bit more time. We've been rehearsing for this, setting this up for ages." He says we have half an hour and that's it. Then we've got to be gone. So that's what, because the audio was messed up before, we only had half an hour to get a take. We managed to get 4 takes.
Hell yeah.
Within that time. I was massively stressed during it too, because of the pressure being on. Maybe that helped or didn't help with the performance, who knows, but we got 4 takes, and then at the end of that, he comes down and is like, "Right, you got to go now." I felt defeated. I felt like we hadn't got the video, because we normally have at least like 20 good takes to choose from.
Damn, that's so much commitment. And oh, what have I done? It's so much commitment. And I'll be honest with you, like, from years of shooting music videos, it's not just doing it that's hard. It's getting people to be on board for the whole thing, especially if people are doing it out of the kindness of their heart and they're doing it voluntarily. You know what I mean? Which, if you can get, and that's what they're doing, obviously be grateful for that. But, you know, picture somebody in your life, you know, that you think would help you with a music video or something if you asked them, and then you said, "Okay, but we're going to have to do it 20 times. You know what I mean? Like, it is a commitment and a half, and it's wearing on you. And a lot of times, like many things in life, if you do something repeatedly, it can have diminishing returns. You know what I mean? So like, you might do it 20 times and take 11 was the best one. Everything before that was fine tuning, and everything after that was a decline. But that 11 though was that sweet spot. You know what I mean?
With this one, we had 4. So I was like, "Guys, I'm sorry, I've got to get out of it." I was feeling gutted because so much work had gone into this. I was going to Canada the week after, so it's the only opportunity we had to film and record it. So I leave feeling defeated, feeling really upset. And then I sit down with the footage a few days later, even though I feel like it's kind of fruitless. And we watch the takes and we're like, I think to myself, like, actually, it might not be as bad as I think. And then I start editing it together from the different angles. And yeah, it turned out okay at the end. Like, I remember putting it all together, sitting back, mixing the whole thing, because that added that helped me see the performance of it. And I remember inviting my friend Vic round and showing him it, because I knew he'd be giving me an honest opinion. And he sat down, watched the whole thing, and was just like silent for a while. And then he was like, "Bro, that's like one of the best things I've seen." And that gave me a little bit more spark in my step after feeling gutted that it wasn't there. So I have this video. I put it out right before I leave to Canada, and it goes crazy. Like, people, like, you know, the rest, it's been one of the most successful songs that I've released. And
the craziest part of that is me trying to figure out what you were doing in Canada.
People, like, you know, the rest, it's been one of the most successful songs that I've released. And yeah, it's crazy that we're a year out. I've been in Canada for a whole year.
Oh yeah, no, I remember now. Sorry, I remember now.
And a lot of the success my music has had in this past year, the #1 album and stuff, is off the back of that opening a big door for me. So I'm very, very grateful for that song for that reason. And happy 1 year anniversary to Hy Ren. Let's go.
Hell yeah, man. That was awesome. That was fantastic. It's always nice to see sort of, I wouldn't say that was the most detailed behind the scenes necessarily from like a technical film standpoint, but from the actual journey himself and the explanation of where he was at with it, both mentally and also fully knowing that Canada was around the corner and what he was doing there, as well as realistically now with that new information. I didn't really know about the getting essentially the boot out while doing the video. I didn't realize that we essentially almost didn't get that music video, and now it's arguably his biggest hit, at least by views. But thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.